Now that you have successfully downloaded the mobile app, let's go on to make our entries. And in order to make your entries, you come down to the menu button here and you simply click on menu. Now you can see submissions, learners and teachers. The submission icon is where you will submit information related to your school. When we click on it, you will see it will load different types of forms for us to fill, just like that annual school census form, but with a little difference. Then for learners, this is where you will click in order to register your learners individually. And for teachers, this is where you will click in order to register your teachers individually for the mobile app. Now let's go to submission and see what is there. I've clicked on submission, and as you can see, I have nothing here because, as you can see, we are yet to input any data entry. Now let's make some of our data entry. You come down to the options button here and you click on it. It will display these three options for you: submit new data, upload data and download data. You click on submit new data. Now it will ask you to select the year that you are reporting for. As we have said before, you will be making entries for 2024, 2025 and 2026, but for the sake of this tutorial, I will choose 2023 so that I will not make input for the schools that we are practicing with, but I will choose 2023 for now. So you select the year and you click on continue. Now you can see that it has generated a form for us to fill, the basic education data update, and we are at the basic information section. We have different types of sections that you will be filling. If you come up here, these are the various sections that you will be filling. You can simply swipe left to see everything that you will be doing down to the last section, which is the review section. So we are going to go back to the basic information section, and these are the information that is required from you. Now, an important information you should know is that this BEMIS mobile app has the capability to work offline and online. Now let's go on to complete the form, the basic information form that we can see on the screen. And the first thing they are asking of is our coordinates, our latitude and longitude. If you know the accurate coordinate for your school, you can simply input it by yourself. But if you don't, you can use this get current location button and the system will generate your coordinate for you. However, in order for it to generate the accurate coordinates for your school, you have to be in your school compound to use this button, and you have to turn on your internet subscription. You have to turn on your data on your phone, because without internet, this particular get current location button will not work. So I will use the get current location button to get the coordinate for where I am currently. I've clicked on it. Now when it brings out this prompt, you have to click on allow. You have to ensure that the location of your phone is on as well. There is an icon for location on our phones. You have to make sure that it is on. If it is not on, the application will direct you to go and turn on your location first. Now you can see that it has gotten my coordinate for me, and this is the coordinate of the location where I am currently. Now, as soon as you get your coordinates, and if you want to fill this form offline, you can turn off your data at this point. The mobile app will still continue to work. Now we move on to category of school. Is it a public or private school? If your school has been wrongly captured to be a public or private school, you can change it here. Since the school we are practicing with is a public school, I will simply leave it in public. The same thing with the type of school. Is it a conventional school? Is it a special needs school? Is it nomadic? And all these other options. the school is a conventional school, but you have to select what is applicable to your school. Now we move on to the general information. We have some preloaded information here, like the state, the local government, the name of your school. If you know that the name of your school is not complete, or if you know that any information here is inaccurate and you wish to change them, for the ones that you cannot change, you can contact your LGA data officer, you can contact the AO and ZEO's data officers, and they will make the changes for you. Now, I don't have any changes that I want to make here, so I'll simply move on. Now, we are a number of officials in this school, and as you can see, it has categorized them into teaching staff and non-teaching staff. It has also categorized them based on their level, ECCD or pre-primary and primary. You have to fill in the one that is obtainable in your school. And another advice I will give here is that you have to remember the total number of officials you have here and how you have distributed them. At some point in the data entry process, you will be asked to categorize them based on their educational qualification, and whatever you will be inputting there for the educational qualification must not be less or greater than what you will have here. So as you are making your data entry, it is very important that you note what you have already inputted, especially as it concerns your officials in the school. Now, for the teaching staff, we are not only considering the government teachers alone, we are considering the community teachers, the PTA teachers, NYSC teachers, volunteer teachers, the same thing with staff. Anyone that is any official that is in your school as at that year, those are the ones that we are considering, whether they are employed by the government or by any other organization. So I will simply make my entries now. So I have made my entries now, and as you can see, where I don't have any data to input, I used 0. And this is because you cannot leave any space empty. Every cells must be filled. Every cell must be filled. So wherever you don't have any data, simply input 0. 2 female teaching staff in ECCD and pre-primary section, and I said I have 2 male teachers in primary and 2 female teachers in primary as well. For the non-teaching staff categories, I don't have anyone in ECCD or pre-primary, and I have 1 male non-teaching staff and 1 female non-teaching staff. So how many teachers in the table above teach at both ECCD and primary levels? So I don't have any. I will simply input 0. Then we have other questions here. Does the school run shift system? No. Does another school operate in your premises? No. So I will click on next. If you notice, as soon as it moved to the next section, the previous section where we were coming from has changed to this green color, and it has also given us a pass mark. It shows that I have filled all the required information. So when you move on to the next section and the previous section is not changing to this icon that we can see here, and the color is not changing to green, it means that you have not made all of your entries. Now we have come to the ECCD pre-primary level. They are asking for information for the ECCD pre-primary level, and the first information that is required here is the number and condition of classrooms. And as you can see, it has been categorized in good or bad condition, and you can see it has been categorized based on the obtainable level of education that we have in the pre-primary or ECCD level. We have the playgroup, nursery 1, nursery 2, nursery 3, or kindergarten, or the 1-year pre-primary. Now, depending on the one you operate in your school, that is what you should fill. If you know that your school does not have play group for the year that you are making entries for. Please do not input data for it. Simply put 0. I have made my entries and I have declared here that my school only operates nursery 3 or kindergarten or 1 year pre-primary. For the other categories, I simply put 0. So the one that is obtainable in your school is what you should input, and that's what you will continue with for that particular year. Now we move on to the pupils enrollment for ECCD section only. Now you can see we have number of streams, and number of streams also means the number of arms. Now I have declared up here that I don't have play group, nursery 1, nursery 2, that I only operate nursery 3 or kindergarten. I won't get to this section and I will start inputting details for this. Just as I have declared in the classroom session, that is what I will declare for my enrollment for number of streams. As you can see, I have made my entries for the number of arms that I have, and I said I don't have any arms in playgroup nursery 1, nursery 2, and I only have 1 arm in nursery 3 or the kindergarten. Let's go on to input the enrollment by their gender and age. Now we have below 3 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and above 5 years for playgroup nursery 1, nursery 2, and nursery 3. Now, since I have declared I don't have playgroup nursery 1 and nursery 2, I will only input 0 in all of this section, and I will input my actual enrollment for nursery 3 alone. I'll pause the video to make my entries now. So I have completed my entries for ECCD enrollment, and as you can see, for playgroup nursery 1 and nursery 2, where I have declared that we don't operate that in my school, I put 0, 0, 0 into all of the cells for that age distribution. And for nursery 3 or kindergarten or 1 year pre-primary, that is where I have my actual data. So just as advised, whatever you are operating in your school as at that year that you are making entries for is what you should do. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the number of officials in ECCD pre-primary by their educational qualification. You would recall that I told you that in the first session, they asked for the number of officials in the school for both ECCD and primary. Now they are only asking for ECCD or pre-primary. So now you have to remember the number of officials you have assigned for ECCD in the previous section. I have declared that I have 2 female teaching staff in ECCD and 0 non-teaching staff. So as I will be classifying those 2 teachers based on their educational qualification, I should not have more than 2. And for non-teaching staff, I should only have 0. So I'll pause the video and just make my entries. So I have populated the required information for the number of officials in ECCD or pre-primary by their educational qualification. And as you can see, I reckoned with their highest educational qualification. As I have said, I only have 2 female teaching staff in ECCD, and if you look down, you will see that I have classified one of them as a person that has first degree, that is your BSc or B.Ed or BSc Ed or whatever qualification for bachelor's degree, with teaching qualification. What they mean by teaching qualification is the TRCN. So, and as you can see, I said the second person has master's degree with teaching qualification, and all of them, the 2 of them, they are females. So I don't have more than 2 teaching staff in ECCD or pre-primary section. And as you can see, for no teaching, since I have declared that I don't have anyone, so every cells has 0. That is, I don't have anyone in that category. We move on to the years of experience. Now this aspect is for teaching staff only. Since I said I only have 2 teaching staff, I will only input details for those 2 teaching staff. Now, as you can see, I have populated the required information for this section as well. And you can see I said the 2 female teachers in ECCD or pre-primary section have between 11 to 15 years of teaching experience. And as soon as I'm done, I will click on next to go to the next section. Now, if you get to this point and you have something else to do, or you are tired and you feel like, okay, let me pause for a moment and then come back and finish the form, simply click on save draft here to save whatever you have done or whatever you have inputted. Click on save draft so that you will not lose any of your information, so that you won't have to start filling in those things again. So just click on save draft and it will tell you form saved successfully. At this point, you don't even need your data, you don't need your internet connection. So you can simply click on this arrow here and you can see it has recorded that we have a submission here. We have a draft submission here for the year 2023. And this is the time where we are making the entry, 20th of March 2026. If I want to resume, I will simply come back here and click on this particular submission, this particular draft that I have here, and it will take me back to the exact place where I stopped my entries. And as you can see, all the things I have populated for ECCD pre-primary level are still there. And since I am done with this section, I will simply click on next to go to the next section. Now we are in the primary level, or the primary section. However, I will not be making any entries. I will simply explain what they are requesting for, the number and condition of classrooms, just as you have done for pre-primary and the ECCD section. That is the same thing they are requesting for here. Then enrollment for primary school sections, you can see that we have primary 1 to 3 here. Then we have primary 4 to 6. Do not forget, number of streams refers to the number of arms that you have in your school for a particular class. You have to make entries for all of the cells. Wherever you know is not applicable to your school or is not obtainable in your school, simply put 0, but do not leave any space empty. And as soon as you are done with a section, you can come up here, come to where you have these different sections, and ensure that you have this green icon here. When you move on to the next section, you have this green icon and the check mark. Now for here, because we are in this current section for the ECCD section, that is why it is red. But you can see the check mark. It shows that I have completed all my entries for this section. Now if I move to primary, if I click on primary level here, you will see that it is also red in color. However, it is not giving me the check mark because I have not made entries or I have not completed my entries for this level. So when you are done, you click on next and you move to the attendance section. Now they are requesting for attendance on the day of visit. If you recall, we are making entries for 2023 for this tutorial video, and we are not in 2023. So for the attendance, I'll simply return to the school records and use the register to extract the attendance for the final day of each academic session. That is the vacation day in the third term of 2024 and the third term of 2025. However, for 2026, the day you are inputting details for 2026, it is the attendance for that day that you should record. the day you are making entries or you are submitting entries for 2026, the attendance for that day is what you should record. So you should be in school when you are making entries for 2026, and when you are done, you click on next and you ensure that this icon has the check mark, and when you move on it changes to green to show that you have actually completed the section. And we are now back to number of officials in primary school by their qualification. If you recall, we have done for ECCD / pre-primary level. Now they are only requesting for the primary section. Kindly note, the HM of the school or the head teachers of the school or the principal of the school should include themselves in the number of teaching staff in the school. Whether they want to add it in the ECCD section or the primary section, they should include it. And don't forget, we are capturing all the staff in the school. When you are done with this section as well, you move on to the next section, which is facility. Now, ensure that you read all of these items that they are requesting for before you input your data. So in order to save time, I will move on to the last section, which is the review section. Now for this review section, this is where we review all of the things that we have inputted. Now look at this place, it is saying form completion status and it's telling me 22%. That's because we've not made entries for most of these sections here. Now had it been we had made entries for all of the sections, you will see 100% complete, and every section here will turn to green, just like these two here that we have completed already. So ensure that you have 100% completion by the time you'll be getting here, and you can review your information. If you scroll down, you will see the information for each section, and if you go through it and you feel like there is somewhere that you have not completed or there is somewhere that you have incorrect details, you can simply go back to that section and you make the correction. Now when you are done, this submission button, if you have 100% completion, this submission button will be active and it will be green in color. It is not green in color now because we've not completed our entries. So, but when you complete your own entry, it will be green in color. You simply click on it and it will tell you, are you sure you want to submit this form? Because once you submit, you cannot make any other editing that you want to make. So if you are not sure, you can say no and you go back to review your submissions again. But if you are sure that you've made all the correct entries, you can simply click on OK and the form would submit for you. Now if you go back to the submission module, you will see that we still have draft here. However, if you submit the form successfully, you will have completed here instead of draft, and the completed will be written in blue color. So if you have completed here, you can come back to options and you repeat the same process. You go back to submit new data and you repeat the same process for the other years, for 2024, 2025 and 2026. I only use 2023 to demonstrate how you are going to fill your form, but you are only submitting for 2024, 2025 and 2026 academic years. Now as soon as you are done with your entries for the 3 years, if you check up here, you see that it is saying 0 online and 1 offline. This is because everything that we have been doing, we have not uploaded them to the server. So your LGA officers will not be able to monitor your entry if you don't upload it. The SUBEB headquarters will not be able to monitor your entries if you have not uploaded it. And UBEC office in Abuja will not be able to see your entries if you have not uploaded it. So everything that we have been doing, they are still offline until we decide to put them online. So if you want to upload everything online, you come back to the option button here, click on it, and you click on upload data. Click on upload data. This thing is telling me that I cannot upload data because I have a draft submission that need to be completed first. Now, had it been I had completed it, it will tell you, okay, you have 3 submissions that you want to upload. Do you want to go ahead and upload it? Then you say yes. And if you successfully upload it, this status will now change to, let's assume you have 3 submissions here. This one will now change to 3 online, 0 offline. Or if you only have 1 submission, it will change to 1 online, 0 offline. And that shows that you have successfully uploaded your entries to the server. So people at the LGA, at SUBEB headquarters and at UBEC office in Abuja will be able to see your entries. It is very, very important. If you have any question, you can reach out to your LGA data officer or SUBEB headquarters for clarification. And that is that about the submission module, the submission for your school information module. Now, don't forget, we still have 2 other modules to go through, which is the learners module and the teachers module. So you simply click on the arrow to go back to the menu page.